Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome to my channel. Hope you are great. Disclaimer: this video reflects my personal opinions and commentary. It is not intended to harass, harm, or defame any individual. Content is for discussions and educational purposes. So I am seeing video that Zohran Mamdani has apologized to Black people for saying that immigrants built New York, instead of saying Black Americans built New York. You and I remember when that happened. I think after he won the election and he mounted the pulpit and said the nonsense, and people did not find that funny. And also, like I expressed myself while I was doing my commentary. I said that one thing I love about Black people is that they actually do not care who you are. When you misspoke, whether intentional or not, they call you to order. They don't keep quiet like let peace reign, because there will never be a time the peace will be complete, right? So they called him out, told him that nah. You do not give credit of our work to another person or other people, right? So with the back and forth and all that, now he is apologizing after how many months? That happened in November, December, January, February. And this is March, right? Like 5 months thereabout. But still, I love the fact that they called him to order. And also, the apology is not for me to accept. It's for Black people. So I will leave. The floor is actually open. Let's get into this video.
Here we are in March 2026. And Mamdani is apologizing to Black Americans for saying immigrants built this country when he did not tell the full story. He know he lied, okay? And he said that back last year, and it's in March 2026.
Okay, so we're here at the end of Black History Month. So I have two questions for you. Sometimes we hear people say this is a city built by immigrants, but how do we also include enslaved people, indigenous people who have built the foundation of America and New York City as well?
So I have to admit, I've been guilty of this myself.
I didn't want to say
it's true. I did say that myself. A city built by immigrants. And I think the first thing is, if we're being honest, then we have to tell the full story, right? And when we tell a sweeping generalization like that, we lose sight of the fact that Black New Yorkers helped to build New York City.
I felt some type of way.
Understandable. Understandable. That's why I'm here to apologize, because you learn from it. And I think that as much as we want to and we should support immigrant New Yorkers and their incredible place in the city, doing so doesn't necessitate that we overlook the contributions of Black New Yorkers. We can tell that full story.
We're at the end, and we know that Black history is American history. We celebrate it 365 on my corner of the internet. So tips and tricks for or your suggestions for how we should celebrate Black history beyond February.
I think we need to remember that we can't tell the story of the city without telling the story of Black history. You know, I think about David Dinkins often, the first Black mayor of our city. He spoke about New York City as a gorgeous mosaic.
That whole thing, the way the interview went, and the way the interviewer was just shrinking, like, oh, I just sorry, like, what the flip? Like, I don't even like that whole thing. That whole thing was garbage. Like, you don't go and ask him, how do we go forward, celebrate? How do we, what the flip? No, you tell him. I am so sorry. I just don't like this whole situation. Whatever. They might move different in New York City. Of course they do. I don't know. Maybe they shrink like that I don't know. I don't know how they move, but the point is, he said it last year. What was it, in November, December, January, February, March? Here we are 4 months in, and here comes this apology to Black Americans. I don't know. Maybe New York City, maybe New York City appreciates that, and they're just. But to me, I live far, far away from New York City. That's garbage. It's like, oh, by the way, it's been long enough. Let me go back and just say something real quick while I sit down on the corner with something. I didn't go on a national stage and do it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go on a national, just like I did it on a mic before an audience where all the nation was looking at me saying it. No, I'm just going to go sit down somewhere else. No, apologize like you were supposed to apologize. Like, apologize how you lied. Do it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Do it the same way with as much, power behind it as you did. Black Americans built this city. Black Americans, and then list what we, you know what I'm saying? Like, do it with the same effort, the same power. It's like the apology was a little side gig. I'm sorry. I know some people not gonna like what it was. Just like a little side gig. And, but like I said, he not my mayor. Okay? So, to me, he just side gigged Black American New Yorkers. It's just, to me, that's what he did. So here we.
I thought that y'all was saying in the tweets and in the comments and on the post, committee mayor of New York had done something amazing and over the top and through the roof, and he better than every other person that ever came, and him and the man with the dead hand had done a deal to build houses, affordable houses. Because they on his ass, he had to come out and say that he had a conversation with the man with the dead hand, proposed something to his ass, pretty much a PowerPoint, and the man with the dead hand said they gonna talk more about it. I thought y'all said he had done something major. Oh, hell no. Y'all steady trying to make this man be something that he not. And it befriend me because I'm like, what the fuck is the deal at? Maybe I'm reading it wrong. I don't have my glasses on now. Now, he did get this young lady released. I saw this tweet and they was talking about how it allows for New York to build 12,000 new homes, including 6,000 some type of style homes, can create 30,000 good paying union jobs, on and on and on and on. And then the mathematicians got in the comments and got to talking about 21 billion for 12,000 homes is 1.75 million per home. How in God's name is that affordable housing? But then the breakdown of what the 21 million actually includes is jobs, which is good, right? You know me, I'm gonna just say it. How the fuck do you think meeting with an Alzheimer's patient, you gonna get this deal done? You know what I'm saying? I wonder how many houses gonna go to the black folk down there, because for God's sakes, the black people are the ones who put him in where he at, and he ain't done shit for their ass, but whatever. There has also been talk that this is one of the people that the leftists want to replace Hakeem Jeffrey. So let's look at it. They want him to be third in command. And some even want the Constitution to be amended so the uncommitted mayor can run for president. Ain't that some shit?
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
I want to say around the topic of Black Americans and then immigrants. I'm seeing lots of videos from Black Americans urging Zohran Mamdani, new mayor of New York, soon to be, to not forget about Black Americans, because in his speech, and this is also something I noticed, he did talk about a bunch of the immigrant communities in New York and how they built New York. And he completely neglected Black Americans. I'm not from New York, I'm from Massachusetts, but even here and all over the country, I have seen how local government always deprioritizes Black Americans specifically. Now, I don't think electing Zohran Mamdani was a mistake. I really like him, even though I will not benefit from his policies. I'm very happy he won, and I hope more people like him go up to become leaders in this country. But I also urge them not to forget or deprioritize Black Americans. The Black American experience is different from the immigrant experience, even if it's a Black immigrant. Two different experiences. And on a statistical level, so this is data, this is not me making it up, Black Americans are deprioritized below immigrants. And that's not immigrants' fault. That is literally just how the system works. And because of that, I see so much division when it comes to Black Americans and immigrants, because it's hard to look past someone who's new to this country getting certain benefits or policies or programs that you have either needed or waited for and still have yet to get, even though you've been here your whole life. It's hard for them to look past that and see that what's really the issue is the system. And then on the flip side, what I see, and again, this is not me saying all Black Americans, all immigrants, but on the flip side, what I'll see are immigrants will come to this country and they will rise above the odds, which is amazing. But then they'll look back at Black Americans and say, well, if I did it, why can't you? Are you just lazy? And then that whole dynamic just pits Black Americans and immigrants against each other, which I hate. People need to remember that because of chattel slavery, it was Black Americans who were stolen from their own land and brought here. We laid the foundation. We laid the foundation for you to come here and then build on top of that. So yes, saying immigrants built this country is not wrong, but completely ignoring that Black Americans laid the foundation for them and then also built alongside them, that's what the message should have been. I really hope, because I saw his team, Zohran Mamdani's transition team, and I know it's all women, but I don't think I saw any Black Americans specifically on there. I do hope that he gets someone on his team who is a Black American, I would say a Black American woman, who can advise him on how to approach and help our community. Even though, again, I'm not from New York. I'm just saying, like, the community in New York. Because it's just different. It is different from the immigrant experience. And I hope all leaders who are coming up in this country also just remember that. So
I feel like everyone wants to take credit for what America has become, or what it is today, as it stands today, while simultaneously kind of discrediting and undermining the fact that there was hundreds of years of evils and atrocities that happened to even get America to the point where people would even want to be here at all, that people would want to migrate over here. Because the truth be told is, nobody in their right mind would leave their homeland, their family, their friends, to come to a place that didn't already have some level of opportunity, that wasn't already built up with some type of infrastructure. Like, immigration didn't really start happening heavily until like the 20s and 30s. And I'm not saying that to undermine any person who was an immigrant and came over here and made a great life for themselves. But what I am saying is that it seems like when it comes time to be proud of like who you've become as an immigrant and what you've built and what you've established here, it's like, it's all good, like, because your family's from somewhere else and you're proud of what you created over here. But at the same time, whenever a person who doesn't have an immigrant background, like the foundational Black Americans, the freedmen, or even the whites, the people who were descendants of the white slave owners, right? Like, basically, if you don't have an immigrant story, you don't have an immigrant background, that's when it becomes a problem for you to show pride in being American or having foundational American roots. That's when people start to bring up, oh, well, this is stolen land. This country was built on stolen land. You're not truly American because you're not a Native American. So I feel like if you don't have an immigrant background and you are part of the lineage of people who came from centuries of atrocities on this land, you're not really allowed to have pride in what you contribute or what your lineage contributed. You're not really allowed to like be proud to be American, right? You're only allowed to be proud to be American if you're not from America. You're only allowed to say that you built something and built up something if you have an immigrant background. And that's just something that I noticed. Like, not really something I normally speak on, but I noticed it. Everybody wants to take credit for it's built up into a great place. And a lot of people had contributed to this. But all I'm saying is it just seems like you're only allowed to say that you built up America
as long as you were not a part, your lineage doesn't go back to the foundation of America.
Who built New York City? New York's new mayor, Zohran Mamdani. I probably butchered it, so I apologize. I was with his speech and everything he had going all the way up until he said New York City was built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and now ran by immigrant, whatever the hell. Get that part, but it was not built by immigrants. It was built by enslaved Black Americans. Let's not erase history. And this be my issue sometimes when immigrants get in power. It's like y'all want to erase the history and the foundation of America. And it kind of annoys me sometimes because it's just like you could have said built by enslaved Africans, developed by immigrants. He said nothing about American citizens at all in the ending of that speech at all. He gave all the credit to immigrants. And New York City does have the highest population of immigration. Definitely understand that it is a multicultural city. That's what makes New York what it is. Definitely love that, but let's not discredit people. Let's not discredit actual American citizens, okay? I don't know, y'all could chew me up in the comments, but I just pay attention to little stuff like that, and yeah, I just wasn't feeling that part, so. And I did do my research on him, and I see that he was campaigning in clubs and churches. He was campaigning to Jews. Like, he was hitting every corner, Caribbeans, Latinos, Black Americans. He has been hitting every corner of campaigning. But let's be real. We know how campaigning works. You got to get people on your team. I'll continue to do more research on him because I don't know too much about him. And, yeah, I don't know. It's just something a little, I don't know. And just an FYI, Black Americans are not immigrants to America. Okay?
When they say immigrants built New York, they wasn't talking about nobody brown. When they say immigrants built New York, they wasn't talking about nobody black. When they say immigrants New York, they wasn't talking about nobody yellow. When they was saying immigrants built New York, they was talking about fucking white people. They was talking about motherfucking Italians and the Irish. They was talking about motherfuckers that's coming from England and shit like that. They were not talking about you today. Y'all gotta stop pushing that shit, because they were dead ass not talking about y'all. Like, nigga, y'all forgot, like, I don't even want to go into that, but nigga, 42nd Street was a black motherfucking neighborhood. It was a black neighborhood. But, like I said, when they say immigrants built New York, they were not talking about nobody this color and anything brighter than that. Like, y'all think that niggas doing taxis and fucking the garbage business and all that shit? Y'all think that shit came from state funds? Y'all think that shit, nigga, all that shit came from like racketeering and all that fucking mob shit niggas was doing, nigga? Like, nigga, those the immigrants they talking about. They not talking about nobody that just put up a fire-ass fucking jerk chicken shop, or somebody that just motherfucking got a falafel spot, or someone that's got a fucking, you know what I'm saying? They're not talking about nobody like that. I promise y'all. I promise y'all. They're not talking about y'all. They're not talking. Y'all gotta stop pushing that shit, because then y'all erase the people that did help build New York, like the Black Americans in Seneca Village. I think they was forced out through the river and then through the construction of fucking Central Park. Like, y'all don't understand, bro. Like, y'all help in the erasure of stuff. Y'all gotta stop participating in stuff without knowing what the fuck is the source of it.
Oh, nothing. I'm just out reflecting on Mamdani's speech from last night. That's it. That's all I'm doing. He said, New York City will remain a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of now, led by an immigrant. Ooh. Come on, immigrants, let's go. Oh, nothing.
I want to talk about the myth that immigrants built America, that immigrants built New York City, and that everyone that is in America is an immigrant, because it's not true.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
That eliminates the story of those formerly enslaved people and products of that enslavement, like myself. There's been a concerted effort to eliminate Black Americans from the conversation of their impact and importance in the way that this country was built and developed with free labor from my ancestors. I'm really glad that Zohran Mamdani is the mayor of New York City. I did my part to campaign for him and boost his messaging, and the fact that I thought he would make a good mayor on this page and very loudly on social media. But that doesn't abscond him from critique. Black Americans versus immigrants, and how these two aren't the same, and how it is imperative that we understand the difference when talking about the development of this nation and what that means for history and what that means for our present and our future. New York was not a city built solely by immigrants. New York was a city founded by European settlers and developed initially by the work of enslaved Black people. In the early days of New York City, Black people cleared the land, built roads, built the initial buildings, built Wall Street, built the first city hall. They built the first city ports. And Black people were vital to the success of the early days of New York City, working in various arenas such as artisans, domestic servants. Black people are pivotal to the development of this nation, full stop. And without Black Americans, no immigrant would be allowed to come here, especially no.
This is all I got from this video. I love the fact that he apologized. I am not sure he misspoke, but he said what he said back then. You know, it's actually easy to know people's history, especially where you live or something like that. But I am very sure, I feel like he knew that Black people were the one. He probably wanted to patronize immigrants because he is also an immigrant or something like that, right? So, yeah. Then another one is that I love the fact that Black people do not ever keep quiet when something happens, because keeping quiet is like telling people that you don't care about what is going on with you, or what it's you don't care about your history. One thing I love about them is that they have never for a day kept quiet over what is happening around them. When you say something that is not right, straight up, they will check you out. And that is like one of the best things to ever do, because I keep asking myself, why is it that other people don't get to talk about their history, right? But when Black people do, they say, why is it that it's only Black history that people get to talk about? It's only Black people. So, if you are not a good representative for yourself, because your culture, your history, you should be a good representative of whoever you are. And Black people are doing a great job with that, because I feel like if Black people were not also very loud about their history, I am sure today we probably might not know each other, right? And I am happy that I am able to be here to speak about Black history, get to learn about Black history by myself. You know, one thing about it is that as you keep learning and advancing, you do not need people to teach you about Black history. You can only hear it from the people that experience that, not people that are not Black. You get me? So that is like one of my biggest flex, that I get to hear from the horse's mouth, and also I get to do my own research by myself. There is nothing as beautiful as being your oppressor. I mean, this is more like being them in all rounds. Number one is that you don't care about what they say anymore. Why? Because you know the truth. You are not expecting news to come from them. It's just like the way everything is going on today. A lot of people are waiting to get their news from a particular source that you know that a lot of things will be redacted. They don't show you the real thing. It's just like, I'm about to digress, but permit me to do that. I hope you guys know that a lot of things that is going on with this war that Americans are not telling you. Number one is the fact that so many American soldiers died. You heard me right, but they are hiding it. The media is not speaking on it. When you search it online, you will see how many persons, but they are not giving details on it. That shows you a lot. So how would somebody believe the same people that painted me, because the same media actually painted us Black, they painted Africans Black. For those that do not understand it, they painted Africans black and then turn around also to paint my own people black too. So that at any point we don't ever get to meet or we don't ever get to understand one another. And to my greatest surprise, I am still digressing, but permits me to do that. I was just scrolling on TikTok and guess what? I am seeing so many Black Americans coming to Nigeria, not just only Nigeria, other countries too, but probably I was able to see the Nigerian part because maybe I am not on Nigerian TikTok, but I don't know how they just popped on my feed. So many of them are traveling to Nigeria on solo. And I am like, and they are like, back-to-back content. I am like, whoa, this is really beautiful. I love the fact that people are traveling by themselves, seeing what is going on and understanding the dynamics and all that, and also going back. And when they get back, they tell their story. I have also remember telling you people about the story of the one that I met was it last year? If I am not mistaken, last 2 years. Robert, I didn't know, seriously, I didn't know he's American. I thought he's Nigerian American or just Nigerian with accent because, there are so many Nigerians that live in United States and, and they just have accent normal, right? Okay, while we were all hanging out because a family friend introduced us all together. So it was while we were talking introduction and he told me that he's from Mississippi. I was like, oh my God, we should give you a name already. We actually gave him a name and then took him to our own village, right? So all these are the things that when you look around, you find that we are all the same, sincerely speaking. So a very big shout out to every one of you. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much for being very, very outspoken with anything going on with you because that has actually not just helped you, it has also helped. If you see people that are very truthful, hear me out. If you see people that are truthful, right, they will tell you that Black Americans have really shaping their mindset when it comes to politics and when it comes to understanding so many things. Yeah. So kudos to you all. I will draw the curtain here. Bye for now.